back to Cyberpunk, everybody. We left off on a cliffhanger for us. We are in the warehouse, if you guys remember, with Kieran. And Kieran has just flung the door open. Yeah. And Rex Nex is vivisectioned out on a table, plugged into a bunch of cyber. There's doctors huddled over him working on it.
Oh gosh.
There's lights on him. He's obviously still living. And Kieran says, I think I'll be able to net run again.
It is as I foresaw. Am I the only one who's hungry?
Yes.
Okay.
I could eat.
It's like being in the lab all over again.
You guys,
It's like being home.
what's the steel test in Cyberpunk? What do we?
James, you failed.
Too much empathy.
Wait, why did we come here again? We came here just to talk with him? Or he was
Kieran
showing
brought
up?
you.
Kieran wanted to show us what was happening.
Right.
Because we came back after the
Yeah.
whole hospital affair and had this conversation
So
with Kieran.
this is the meeting that we planned.
Right. Basically,
Okay,
Kieran
yeah.
said, tomorrow, 7 p.m.,
Yeah.
I gotta show you something.
Okay.
And he throws this door open because I was giving him all these speculations about research that we had been doing at Biotechnica about being able to resurrect brains and reorganize people and turn animals into people and stuff like that. We had the whole Dr. Moreau path. And he goes, well, funny you should bring this up. I got some stuff to show you. And so this is where he's now said, voila, way ahead of you here. Plus, I have avenged your friend, or you guys, upon your enemy.
Right. So,
I don't care about Rex next.
Nah.
he is an enemy.
Yes,
So,
Enemy to the state.
there's nothing less than he deserves.
you all may have recalled the initial marketing tactic with the Osiris chip, correct? The reversal of cyberpsychosis and
Yes.
promises of grandeur and restored humanity and
Oh, yeah.
all sorts of things. Well, it's funny, but they aren't very far from the truth.
I knew it.
Well, yeah.
Indeed. The level of connection that the Osiris chip allows with some external signal and stimuli onto the actual human nervous system is quite robust. There's a bridge yet unexplored here in the Osiris chip that allows such a thing. Yes.
So you guys have discovered the missing link in the lost canary experiments from the 1970s. Oh, that's brilliant.
One could say that. But think of it like this. We can take Rex Nex's brain, we can upload it into an AI, and the bandwidth allowed with the Osiris chip will let us turn his body into any amalgamation of cyber monstrosities, and let his mind remain, and his empathy, more importantly, intact.
That's brilliant.
That's
I'm gonna
so
walk
cool.
closer to the
In a
body
jar.
so that I can get a closer look. Is he conscious? Does he know
No,
we're
he's
here?
right on the line.
Here's a brindle line.
No, he's not conscious at the moment. He's...
The first one better be a T-Rex.
There may have been a slight...
T-Rex.
There may have been a slight error with the changing of Rex Nex into one of these new cybernetic creatures. And he looks at one of the doctors, and the doctor kind of like looks down. There may have been an error. Yes, I'm not sure if Rex Nex will ever be joining us again. Which seems to have somewhat revoked the client relationship he and I had. Which is one of the only reasons you all are here.
Well, there are always a price to be paid for progress. You know, there will be errors. You know, I've made my share of them in the past, although nothing quite this remarkable and beautiful.
Yes.
So how close are you now? As you know, we recently lost a dear friend, and if this technology is available,
I think.
Remember.
I'm not sure if he considers. Never mind.
yeah.
Oh,
like,
I just assumed you were talking about Blaze.
I'm talking about
Iceman.
I'm talking about Blaze. Did Iceman
Forgot about
die?
Iceman?
Yeah, Iceman
Remember
died.
that?
Yeah, Iceman totally died.
That's why
You got his throat ripped out, remember?
Exactly.
Trachea got pulled out.
Oh, I forgot all about
Like
that.
the cybered up psychopath. Yeah.
That's
Remember, I
right.
could have stopped it. I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I did. It was great.
You have nightmares about it.
Oh, looks like
No, I don't.
looks like you're dying.
I forgot all about the
That's the
Iceman
cyberbug
bit.
spirit.
Good
He gave
lord.
me much more than Blaze did upon death.
Mm.
I got Spike.
Maybe it was so traumatizing that I blocked it out of my memory.
That must be it.
It's like,
You seem to forget a lot of stuff. Just saying.
you know, my memory wipe is not a perfect science. You know, every once in a while I wake up and I go, did I just do this or did I just dream it? And sometimes I can't really tell.
For some reason, I remember everything I had for breakfast for the last 3 years. Go figure.
Wow.
Like,
I've always wanted
your
that.
memory is strange, but yes. So obviously, the connection this has with me and net running, this may provide some sort of interface for my brain to reconnect to the net in maybe an even stronger fashion than simple Troding did before. The fools with this research didn't even know what they had their hands on.
So wait, you're gonna use RexNex as kind of like a modem? Is that how it's gonna work?
RexNex is more of a guinea pig.
Oh.
I want to see if he can become a modem.
So are you building yourself a new body entirely then? Or because, you know, as you know, we already can upload consciousness to the net.
Right.
But
he
it sounds like
can't,
that
'cause
part
his
of my
things
brain
are
is
screwed up.
been destroyed.
So will you be recreating yourself, or are you going to be putting yourself into a newly formed,
Yeah,
bigger, badder, stronger version of yourself?
My hope is that the Osiris chip can act as a sort of cybernetic bridge between the functioning part of my brain and the net, whereas I would normally have organic parts acting as the bridge.
Wait, Kieran's chip deck still works?
No.
Oh.
The stuff that connected his chip deck to his brain is all cooked out. Right?
I'm so confused as to how this will get his net running back.
Well, so the way it works in the biotechnical world, if this was actually to happen, like, because based on what we know now in 2013, is that there's a way to interface your brain signals with these high-end diodes that read signals. Apparently, in the future, what ended up happening was that when he got fried, those very same neural connections that tie into the diodes were also burned out simultaneously.
Yeah. Right.
And ever since we discovered in the 1970s with the lost canaries experiment, was that we discovered the canaries are able to rebuild neural interfaces. But after that science was discovered, for the next 30 years, we hit a dead end. Like, we said, well, canaries must be magical creatures because we can't replicate it in other creatures. Like, somehow our brain technology wasn't as good. But in the last 5 or 6 years, we've actually discovered that we've just been looking in the wrong places. And now with stem cell research and stuff, we're actually finding out that we can start to do stuff like that. And we're making some progress in doing things like repairing people who have Alzheimer's and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so presuming in the future, what's going to happen is that they have a similar problem, but they're now making that same leap where they're discovering we can actually regrow and recreate those neural synapses on the biological side to allow you to reconnect to the electronic parts.
Yes.
This is all well and good. What do you want from us?
Well,
if you say more guinea pigs,
if only I was wont for those. One could say that I'm in this for the long haul, right?
Okay.
I'm not sure how close I actually am, but I've made a step in the right direction. It has given my life some modicum of purpose again. But
so you need more tests to ensure that you're moving in the right direction.
yes, it seems that the issue you're having, if you would take a look a little closer at Rex Nexus' exposed brain, you may have noticed I have...
Looks like a brain.
No thanks.
Yes, I have...
Thanks.
I've seen bigger.
removed the sections. I have removed the sections that allow his brain to interface with the net, and I am attempting to use the Osiris chips as a cybernetic bridge where there was organic material that's much like my brain currently functions.
This is remarkable how you were able to use the motor cortex as part of the interface, which normally doesn't intersect at all with the upper cerebellum.
Yes, well, the benefit of also has, as Dr. Strauss has explained to me, the benefit of also using the motor cortex allows the interfaced AI mind full control of the body as well.
These
So,
chips are more powerful than I even imagined.
indeed, with a sufficiently high bandwidth connection, I should be able to be fully conscious in the real world, in addition to being net running, possibly in more location than one in the net, at the same time as walking around in... Whew, the very thought excites me beyond belief.
Again, what do you want from us?
Sorry, I get rather excited when I think of this.
You are exciting me.
Yes, the problem we're having is the wetware does not seem to wish to bond. There's not a sufficient catalyst involved.
That's been the problem for the last 60 years.
Indeed, we have solved one of the problems, but not the other. And I understand Pups has confided in me. I might as well tell you that there's a certain epigenetic catalyst that has been involved in his creation.
Dogs.
I think you know of which I speak. A certain radioactive material that has been somewhat refined.
You sure you want to go messing around with sticking nuclear stuff into your brain?
I'd stick it into Rex Nexus first.
Yes, of
Or
course.
the husk, formerly known as Rex Nex, would probably be a much better way of putting it at this point in time.
This is brilliant. Oh my gosh, this is research that my company would I would never have been allowed to do this at home.
Yeah, there's probably a good reason for that.
This is brilliant. This is not just multi-billion, multi-trillion dollar technology. This is the next stage in human evolution. This will change everything. Don't you understand? This could be the end of death as we know it.
Yeah. Anyway, what's the deal with the Russians?
The Russians are fools.
Yeah, but why do they want to stop you?
They want to stop me because they fear me.
They're cowards. They're afraid of progress. They're like those people who didn't want to do surgery or medicine or...
Are they though, or do they just want to take this technology for themselves?
I don't even know if they know this technology exists.
Okay.
I know they're aware of the nuclear program. That it is only a matter of time before the nuclear program makes its way into the public eye. To whether the public will be roused out of their chronic apathy is another question. But
Okay, I'm guessing this is something we don't mention to them in our reports.
yes,
Okay.
you're correct. You can tell them that I'm aware of the nuclear program and I'm doing my own research in the matter. That should make them happy enough. But the reason I have chosen your, pardon me saying so, but ragtag group is all of you are already privy to many of the elements of the case on pure chance. And if I was to bring in...
We never even use our luck stat.
If I was to bring in another group, I would have to give information to others that may find it valuable in different ways than you do. And I frankly don't have to tell you all that much to bring you in on this, which I consider to be a plus. Also, I have found affection in you somewhat, all of you.
Oh.
We're just one big family.
We are very sweet.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Kieran.
Also, you live very close to me, and I can kill you if I need to.
I think we're gonna go back home now.
It's just a joke.
Home is right where he lives. it's like, oh no, home is terrible. The phone call is coming from inside the house. It's like,
Yes. So
this is brilliant. So it sounds like what you've got here is a two-pronged attack. Now that you've brought us in, we can continue to help you with this project, as my colleague here would indicate, and we can continue to lead people to believe that we're doing some sort of very interesting nuclear project, maybe even on a realistic level, so that there's evidence that we are working on something like that.
correct.
After all, I mean, plugging you back into the net would be glorious. But if, as a byproduct, we happen to build a bomb, that's just an extra benefit.
Wait. Sorry,
Bomb?
what? Why would we build a bomb?
Because we can. And it would be kind of nifty to give the Russians the idea that we're actually doing something with this fissile material that isn't related, but very convincingly relevant to our operations.
I prefer you didn't build any bombs in my bar, but
Wouldn't,
I mean, we
wouldn't it be
wouldn't-
better to convince them that we were doing something that is like impossible to do? Like,
Bombs the size of neurons that after we've implanted them into people can be detonated anywhere in the world with a mere signal.
so we already have this? We probably have this.
we should call it the Goliath serum.
Ooh, I like that. It's got that whole smooth, warming sensation when I hear that word.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So I guess we're done.
I
here.
believe I shall continue work here. I must get a report from the doctors, and the doctors kind of look at each other like, "Oh crap!" And
Your friend here. What's going on here? How far along are you here, by the way?
in what?
I mean, are we talking about
How soon?
6 months to a year, or 20 years down the road? I mean, what's our long-term investment?
Well, the sooner I can get some sort of catalyst. Would you happen to have any of it?
Oh,
any
well,
any sort of
funny you should ask.
research
Oh.
or assistance you could provide?
I'm
I
sure
feel like
we
we
might.
don't have any.
We need to go back and check through things first. I
Of
think.
course, I'll let you.
We live close.
I'll let you conduct a powwow.
we'll get in touch with you soon. I think we should probably
All right.
go.
All right.
Also, now that Kieran has brought us here, presuming that we know where this lab is and he didn't put hoods on us when he drove us through the streets and stuff
Oh,
like
I
that.
did. Well, we knew where
Yeah.
it was. It's
Yeah.
in just.
Yeah,
we
Julian
already, we've
changed
already
all
been
You actually
there
knew the
once.
location.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
This
okay.
Is, this
We
is
just
the
never-
place that
Remember, you
we
sent Julian
want-
Chain
yeah.
back.
Yeah, we just never went because we were scared of getting shot up.
Oh,
So where they
okay.
got this.
But except now, instead of being a den of RexNex's cronies, is now a giant biolab.
Yeah.
Which is
Well, it always was.
kind of what it always
apparently.
was.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So we head back
It's
to the
all
van,
ruse.
Right.
right? Okay. And I go, Reverend, do you mind if I drive this time?
No?
Okay.
Sure.
Get in. All right. So I drive the van. I drive away from the lab, and I pull into a secluded alleyway, because it's like nighttime at this point, right? Okay. Then I start checking the van for bugs.
Okay.
Like I look everywhere I can for bugs. What would I roll? What do you like awareness notice?
Yeah, awareness notice.
Okay. All right. 7 and 5. 7, 6, 13. So that's 12 plus 9 intelligence would be 21.
Okay, you do a pretty thorough sweep relatively quickly, and you can't really find any evidence of any tampering.
Okay.
If you didn't find anything, then I'm not going to search. Nope. What? No, I'm not going to do it.
Okay. So I look at everybody and I go, we need to get rid of Kieran.
You should have said something. I would have killed him right there.
No, we can't do it like that in front of everybody. No, listen, we need to get rid of Kieran and we need to get rid of this technology. Look, power is a zero-sum game, especially on the streets. If somebody winds up with as much technology and power as Kieran's going to get, the world will go out of sorts. It'll go crazy. We can't. It's too dangerous to mess around with.
No, that has never worked in the history of humankind. If you've read any of the discs and the books, you know that once something has come out of the bag, it will be found. Getting rid of Kieran is not a solution. If you actually want this not to be a problem, then you make it public and available so that everyone can use it at some point.
All right, it's
These
true.
are evolutionary leaps in discovery.
We could do that, but Kieran getting a hold of this technology is bad. That guy has a god complex out the window.
Well, okay, if we want to expose him, what media outlet could we tell that he couldn't buy off?
Maybe not
Well-
very many right now, but Kieran is on the outs. Until he becomes powerful enough again, he's as much, if not on less footing than we are. He has a lot of connections, certainly.
Yeah.
But he's brought us in. He trusts us right now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If we try to get rid of Kieran, he knows this game better than we do. The odds are not in our favor, regardless of what the books may tell us.
Okay.
In contrast, if we stay close and we become a part of the team,
we can get close enough that at some point we might be able to make a difference. If you are concerned about the negative implications of this technology, then it is better to stay close enough to have an influence over it. If we try to bury it, it will crop up somewhere else where we have no influence, and it will fall into even worse hands.
I'm not necessarily concerned about the technology. I think the technology could be put to good use, but the issue is who's controlling it.
Well, shouldn't no one control it? I mean, like...
Well, no.
That's the point. Someone
Not really.
that trusts
Well,
us who
then.
controls it can be influenced. Someone who we don't know who controls it, well, I certainly can tell you that as much as I love my family, if my company developed this technology first, we would have much less influence, and it would be potentially much more dangerous. Kieran having it alone first is a problem. But if Kieran is only one of many who have it, it is far less of a problem. And you have to admit, this is a grand discovery. It will be like when cancer was cured 16 years ago. This could make a difference.
Hasn't been cured?
Oh, it hasn't?
AIDS was cured.
It has now.
Oh, okay. It has
Someone
now.
cured it.
We have. It has been said, so let it be written. No, but
Collaborative world building in action.
yes, exactly. No, but I believe that if we try to, at this point, take Kieran out and bury this, not only are our odds low, but somebody who has been working on this, it will leak. It has enough connectivity to the stuff that we've already discovered that somebody will hear about it, somebody will make the connections, and somebody else with the right weapons or the right knowledge or the right amount of money will develop it, and we will have no influence whatsoever on what happens to it.
Unless we hunt them down too,
That's just going to keep replicating itself, though.
and then we keep doing it.
Right.
Become legends.
Legends.
Legends that hunt down technology.
Remember in the early days
Destroy
of the
technology.
Cold War in the
Evil.
1960s and 70s, when we realized that the only real solution was mutually assured destruction?
Not really.
We are in a similar state. You are perhaps too young, but my father made me read a lot of history books. This is not the sort of thing that once it is discovered will ever go away. The Osiris trip is out there. It's only a matter of time before someone realizes its potential.
Okay, this still seems incredibly dangerous to me.
It is. And I am 100% with you in terms of your concerns. But the flow of history, if it has taught us anything, is that when things like this happen, people cannot stop it. You may delay it a year, a generation, but it will happen. And the only thing you can do if you want to make a difference is to ensure that it does not become a problem before it does. And we are in a position to make that difference now, rather than later. Because if Kieran finds out that we are not as loyal as we have claimed to be, and he gets rid of us, then it will be a problem, and there will be no one to act as that buffer to his ambitions.